All right, good afternoon. I'm Terrence. This is for MGT 420, and I'm here with,
Sergeant First Class Andrade.
and we're here to go over a few questions for the project that we have assigned. First and foremost, do you confirm your consent for me to record this interview?
Yes.
All right, really quick, if you could give a brief summary of who you are.
Sure. Again, Sergeant First Class Andrade. I've been in the U.S. Army as a motor sergeant for the last 16 or so years. I'm also a maintenance supervisor. I've been kind of in a leadership position for most of my time in the military.
Where do you work and how long have you been there in your role?
So currently I'm in Sacramento working as a maintenance supervisor. I've been in this role for about a year, but overall, again, in a supervisory role for the last 10 or so years.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna go into part one of our questions. First question, what is one of your greatest career achievements that you can think of in your role/career?
One of my greatest achievements has been achieving a first-time go or 100% on an audit, essentially, in our command maintenance discipline program across 11 different units, all as 100% go. That was pretty one of my best achievements, I would say.
Impressive. Next question, what management principles or strategies or processes did you employ that you believe led to this effective organizational outcome?
I would say accountability was probably the biggest one, followed by communication, and then training. I needed to kind of own the project and communicate with my peers to be able to get what I needed or use my resources, and then train my soldiers around me to be able to complete the tasks.
Thank you. Next question, why do you consider this achievement to have been so impactful?
I mean, the obvious answer is that the better job that I do is the better readiness we're going to have in the unit. So, if the unit's not ready, if I'm not ready, so by achieving a 100% pass rate, it makes the unit better overall.
I agree. All right, we're going to move on to the scale portion of the questionnaire. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, what extent did you utilize each of the following characteristics to your greatest achievement? So the first one's going to be listening.
5.
Next is empathy.
I'd say 4.
Healing.
3.
Awareness.
5.
Persuasion.
4.
Conceptualization.
4.
Foresight.
5.
Stewardship.
5.
Commitment to growth of people.
5.
Interest in building community.
4.
Provide an example of how at least one of these characteristics helped you.
Sure. I will choose commitment to growth of people. Being in a team environment and the leader of that team, I had to ensure that the people around me grew and became proficient in their tasks. I'm a big believer in the quote, at high tide, all ships rise. So when they grow, I grow, and it was necessary to accomplishing that mission.
Thank you. All right, we're going to the second part of this interview. Consider one significant challenge, preferably one with an ethical dilemma you previously faced in your role. How did you handle it, and what was the outcome?
I would say accomplishing the mission requirements and staying in line within the standards, the maintenance standards, because a lot of the time we can get the job done, not the right way, but getting it done correctly is definitely hard. That was definitely the biggest challenge that I faced throughout my, to this day in my career. And just kind of, it's hard to do it the right way, and it takes longer, but it just has to get done.
I agree. All right. So same thing as the first portion, we're gonna pretty much list a bunch of characteristics, and you're gonna scale them from 1 to 5 as far as what extent did you utilize them. All right. So first one is listening.
4,
Empathy.
4,
Healing.
2,
Awareness.
5,
Persuasion.
5,
Conceptualization.
4,
Foresight.
5,
Stewardship.
5,
Commitment to growth of people.
4,
Interest in building community.
3.
So with that same scale, please provide an example of how at least one of those characteristics helped you.
I would say foresight played the biggest role because knowing what's coming ahead helped me plan for things that I wasn't ready for in the past. But now knowing, seeing those risks ahead of time, I was able to mitigate them by kind of visualizing and seeing them ahead.
Okay. All right. Going into the third part, in your own words, what is an entrepreneurial mindset?
Entrepreneurial mindset. Oh, that's a good one. I would say definitely being unconventional and thinking outside the box, essentially. Doing what you have to do to accomplish, whether it's a project, mission, task. Definitely employing all the subjects we talked about, but not being in a box conventional, just kind of thinking outside the box and relying on people, and just focusing on a better way to do things, I would say.
All right, what was the mission, vision, and strategy of your organization, and how essential is the entrepreneurial mindset in achieving the mission, vision, and strategy of your organization?
The mission was essentially maintain equipment readiness and support our operational requirements. The vision was disciplined maintenance program, basically sustaining readiness through personnel and effective processes. And can you repeat the second part of that?
So the second part was, how essential is the entrepreneurial mindset in achieving the mission, vision, and strategy of the organization?
It's massive. So we also often have a lot of resource limitations, and priorities always change. So it's extremely important to when you hit a roadblock, find a way around it, right? As an entrepreneur, mindset, I would say you have to find ways around the wall and not be conventional, like I said before. So when you reach a wall or fork in the road, you have to take action and you have to find ways around it to get whatever else you need to get done.
I agree. All right, we're on to the last scale. On a scale of 1 to 5, what extent did you utilize these skills when using an entrepreneurial mindset? And the list we have would be needs to achieve.
5.
Openness to experience.
4.
Innovative/creative ability.
4.
Risk propensity.
3.
Proactivity and work ethic.
5.
Entrepreneurial self-efficacy.
5.
Internal locus of control.
5.
Now, with that same topic, please provide an example of how at least one of these characteristics helped you.
Being proactive. Proactivity was essential. Kind of being ahead of the curve, right? Developing continuity, and the only way I develop continuity is through proactivity. Tracking systems, training programs. I can go on forever, but kind of taking the bull by the horns and being proactive about it was definitely essential for sure.
Thank you. And lastly, describe anything you wish you would have specifically avoided that may have derailed or delayed your success.
Delegation of tasks. I often try to solve everything myself, but having limited resources kind of was difficult. So delegating more and overseeing more would definitely help me save a lot more time in the future. And that's one thing I would have definitely liked to do more of, was to do everything personally. More delegation of responsibilities would be better for sure.
Alrighty. Well, that concludes my questions and my interview for this project. Again, this is our first class Anthony Andrade. I'm Terrence Plummer. This concludes my presentation.